10 seconds. You ready, Tammy? You ready, Tammy?
Is it really already 10 seconds to 12? Okay. Yeah, we are.
You're up.
Oh my gosh.
4
Hello.
pink today,
Okay.
Tammy. I wish I had.
Are we on?
Yes.
Okay, we are live. This is our very first virtual Ladies Who Launch. Welcome, everyone. My name is Tammy Meinershagen. I'm the Executive Director of Frisco Arts, the city's arts advocacy agency, and I'm so glad you're joining us from wherever you are. I'm used to giving everyone a hug as you walk in the door, and I really do miss that. Seeing all of the photos from the months that we've had together, it just kind of made me a little teary. So I miss you all. I really, really do. And I'm glad you're here joining us today. Though we are all mandated to stay at home, it doesn't mean that we have to be socially isolated. I mean, honestly, right now, we need each other more than ever before. We have to be a community. We have to stick together, and we're all in this together. So we want to hear from you. Since we're on Facebook Live, we're going to be able to see your comments and questions. So please engage with us and feel free to share this or start a watch party. Let's see here. If you're unfamiliar with Ladies Who Launch, because probably some of you have never even come to a meeting before, but now you're joining us online. The idea actually started about 3 years ago. And it was just something where I felt like I wanted to learn from other women. I wanted to learn from their journeys. And what started as a small group, about 40 women, and now, after 3 years, we're packing this room over at Crest Infinity every month. Am I still on, Anthony? It sounds like I lost sound. Okay. This is, very new for me too. I am totally not a tech person. And it's kind of weird to be talking to a screen to myself. So forgive me if it's a little strange over here for me. But anyway, that was the concept of Ladies Who Launch. And we wanted it to be a really welcoming, come as you are. And that is still the same. Even though we are virtual right now, that is the core of Ladies Who Launch. You come as you are. We meet 2 women, one in arts and one in business. And then we usually talk about the intersection of the two. Now that we have COVID-19 and life has been completely disrupted, the conversation is going to change. We're going to have to talk about how COVID-19 has affected our panelists in arts, in business, family life, perspectives, everything. So, we're all trying to figure it out, but this is a great way for us to connect with each other again and just hear how these 2 ladies are handling it. They are true gems in Frisco. Shannon and Lilian that you're going to meet today, they have beautiful spirits and you're going to be encouraged. So if you would like to help support our Ladies Who Launch, there's an option for you now to donate your lunch ticket of $25. You can go onto our website at friscoarts.org and just click on register and find Ladies Who Launch, and then there's a button where you can donate. Oh, look at that. Comes right up on the screen. Donate your lunch ticket. And we have a new level there called the Prelude gift once you click on that link, where you can donate to us and help us keep this going and help us with our mission to build a stronger community with the arts. So thank you in advance for that. Today's format, normally, we have our lunch and then we have our panel discussion. We have our big group photo. Anthony, are you able to throw up a group photo from last month? Like, look at that. That is amazing. What's really crazy is that picture is like, to do that right now is illegal. It's kind of crazy, but we can't do that. We can't meet So it's strange, it's sad, but I really hope that we can come back to that someday. But normally, that's what we have for our format, and we will still keep the format pretty much with our panel discussion. We'll hear from our presenting sponsor and her takeaways from last month, and I'll give you some announcements here. Then we'll have some Q&A. And I normally also say that I'll let you out by 1 p.m., but I'm not going anywhere and you're not going anywhere. So if we go over, oh well. So as far as announcements, I do have 3 on the Frisco Arts side. And the first one is for our Smart Men. So we've got our Ladies Who Launch program for women in arts and business, but we are also launching a Smart Men series called Smart Men Spotlights, and this will launch next Tuesday. We are going to be featuring men in the creative sector. So our first guests are Brian Wysong and Jeb Madalik with Tumbleweed Textiles. They're an awesome partner with Frisco Arts, and they've created a Frisco-based business that's all over the country now, and it's Texas-inspired apparel and wine glasses and all kinds of things. So we're going to get to meet them and talk with them and also see how COVID-19 is affecting them, but how we can also support what they're doing. The next thing we have coming up after that is our quarantini. So typically in the spring, our membership will have happy hours, and we're meeting, and networking, bringing our arts community together. And since we can't do that in person, we are going to do it virtually. So grab your drink, and you're going to register online at friscoarts.org. Click on quarantine, and you'll get an email for the Zoom link and password. So I hope you can join us for that. That's next Thursday. And then this last initiative is for students. There's been a lot of disruption for our kids, and this is a really unique time in their lives where, everything is changed. So we want to encourage you guys to keep creating and document what's going on. So what we're creating for you all is called the Quarantzine. It's an online magazine that will feature student artwork, student poetry, photography, short stories, you name it, anything that really helps you capture your thoughts and your emotions. And, someday you'll be able to look back at that and be like, wow, that really did happen. And it's the art that really, can capture it for us. So I hope you'll contribute to the Quarantzine if you go to our website at friscoarts.org and click what we do. At the very bottom of that, you'll see Youth Ambassadors, and that will get you the information on the Quarantzine. All right, so now it is time for me to introduce our presenting sponsor, who is Lori McCaghren. She's with Union Home Mortgage. Lori has been our biggest fan from the beginning. She saw this event from like the first meeting when it was smaller, and then has been with us the whole way. And every month now, she gives us some of her thoughts from the last meeting, some of her takeaways. And Lori had actually reached out to me like right after the March meeting and said, you know what, I think we're going to have to try something different for this month because of the social distancing. And I'm like, are you sure? I don't know. What is social distancing? That just doesn't sound fun. But she was totally right. And we got this all prepared with the help of Anthony Barocas. So we're here today. And Anthony, thank you. He's producing the show. Anthony is with stream4.us. So if you need a stream for business, I highly recommend Anthony. There you go. Look them up. All right. Let's get Lori on the screen if you can there. I'm going to move my notes. Are we good?
Hi.
Hi. Oh. How are you doing today, Lori?
I am doing fantastic, and it's a beautiful sunny day, and I get to go to Ladies Who Launch. So my favorite lunch of the month is still on, and I'm so grateful. The COVID-19, just the whole situation can be very heavy, and but necessity is the mother of invention, and lots of good things are coming out of this. People are trying things they've never tried before and connecting in ways that they've never connected before. And there's a lot of unexpected blessings in the middle of the storm. And that's where I've just kind of tried to keep my focus. And I'm just overjoyed that I can, at least see your face and Lilian's face and Shannon's face, and then see all the names on our Facebook feed, and knowing that, my community is participating, and that I have been able to share this with women that I know all over the country who we usually meet up every October in Chicago, and Ladies Who Launch is kind of my fix in the year to get a lot of that same feelings. I'm just overjoyed that I've gotten to invite so many of these amazing mortgage friends who are women to get to see what I get every month. And so I'm hopeful that, this will be shared in their communities, that they'll see what we do and get inspired and start it there, and it'll spread faster than COVID.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I mean, that is the truth. Like COVID, it's interesting. It has both positive and negative, and there's a lot of positive things that are happening that we can be sharing. So on that note, last month we had Constance Ann and Deborah Viestens speaking, and it was a lot about change and how we handle change. So what were your biggest takeaways from the last month?
I was really struck with the timing. We couldn't have timed those two guests any better, because I'd never really heard of change management before. And my goodness, we're all kind of thrown into change right now. And I was just kind of reviewing my notes ahead of the meeting. And the thing that really stood out to me from the notes that I had jotted down last time is when Constance said, fatigue from change is actually a good thing. And I think a lot of us are probably feeling some of that change fatigue right now, but it's a sign of growth, and that we're figuring out and we're exercising new muscles, that we maybe haven't exercised before, and things like that. So that's really kind of the one that stood out. But I'll also go back to the original, the quote that I started the year off with, which was, where there's a will, there's a way, find the way. And that's what we're presented with right now with these challenges, is that, we've got to find the way. And I'm just super excited that Ladies Who Launch, with the help of Anthony, found a way to continue to meet, and so that we have a time to uplift and inspire and refresh our souls together, because that's really what it's all about, celebrating and learning from each other. So I'm really excited about that. So I would be remiss if I didn't say a couple words about mortgages, because there's a lot of upheaval and change with that as well. But some of it's settled down. Forbearance is kind of a topic that's come up recently out of the CARES Act that passed, and just know that forbearance is not forgiveness. So those payments are still coming due. They're just coming due a little later. And depending on how long you ask for the forbearance period, then they're kind of all due at once. So while that is an option, it's one, as a mortgage person, I would say, if there's any other way, use that as like a last resort, not a first resort, because it doesn't make the payments go away. It just delays them and builds them up. And then, you still have to deal with that. So if you have any mortgage questions about what's going on with interest rates, if you've heard, government loans are not available anymore, or anything that you have a mortgage question about, please reach out. I'd be happy to, just educate you about what's going on in the market. It's not the Chicken Little, the sky's falling. There is actually still pretty good home buying activity, because our real estate friends have been able to put some safety practices in place for both homeowners and home buyers. Appraisers are still active, and some guidelines have been expanded to allow for some leniences there to help keep appraisers safe, but also keep the industry going. Interest rates are still fantastic. So if you're thinking, gosh, I wanted to refinance and I missed my opportunity. You haven't. So Union Home Mortgage, I'm just couldn't be happier to be here. We've got the best leadership in weathering the storm and staying in communication. And it also helps that we're debt free and well capitalized. So we can, as long as we are avoiding the icebergs, we're going to be fine. And I've got the best leadership at the helm of the ship. So that's my little mortgage minute. And I'm just honored to be able to sponsor this.
Thank you so much for your support and for believing in the program, and for sharing your heart with us each month. And I am glad to hear that people can still do what they're, there are some things you can still do. You can still get a mortgage, you can still get a house. All right, well, thanks, Lori. And we're going to move to our panel discussion now with two amazing ladies. The first one is Shannon Hammond. She is a local business owner. They are with Countdown to Escape on Main Street. And people don't know that I actually have known Shannon for many, many years because she was the receptionist at Bledsoe Elementary, where my kids went to school. And she is also the founder of Good Stuff in Frisco that we'll talk about a little more in the program. And yes, and Shannon's beautiful face. I mean, this is who we saw every time we had to walk into the school, and just always welcoming, always joyful. Really just a beautiful person. And the things that she's been able to kind of push forward in this Good Stuff in Frisco to encourage people to focus on. These are just some photos from that. And that's where, if you've driven by on Main Street, Countdown to Escape is. And we actually did something there with our Frisco Arts. So that's the group. If you're in the group, Good Stuff in Frisco, you can join and start posting your positive news. Our next guest that we have is Lilian Chavira, and she is the founder of Joy in the Breakroom. And Lilian is the one who brings the magic to every Frisco event with her incredible creativity. There's literally nothing that we've ever done that doesn't include Lilian's match. And she is able to create moments and meaningful decorations. It's not just thrown together. It's something that ties in with the theme of whatever we're doing. That one that you just saw was our arts and sports luncheon. This one is from our beautiful Valentine's red carpet, A Night in Paris, and all of those little things, the little picnic bench. This is actually handmade. Those are not real desserts. Those are handmade fake desserts. It was incredible. I mean, they looked beautiful and they were perfect for the photo op right there for our Valentine's event. So let's get them on the screen, Lilian and Shannon. Hey guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I wish I could give you all a virtual hug. Normally I would do that. I mean, a regular hug. Now I'm giving you the virtual one. Here we go. There we go. Well, so our questions, I sent them to you a little bit ahead of time, and just, they're gonna weave around the fact that our lives are totally changed. So the first one is, what was your typical day like before COVID-19, and now what is your typical day like? So Lilian, why don't we start with you?
Okay, my typical day. Before this happened, my business was exploding. It was touching one of the best seasons, so it was kind of very crazy. Like, I will start my days very, very early, and I was creating all the time, and then having to change my cap and then become the owner, the marketing person, everything at the same time. So it was very, very intense, but extremely fun. So exactly before this happened, a week before, March 4th, I posted on my Facebook Live. I usually don't do that, but I felt like it was time to say it, because it was one of those days that you look at heaven and you are like, God, you're behind this. I was working. It was my 4th anniversary was right in March. So it was a time when I was like, it's all those dreams and all those visions of what I wanted to happen were happening in front of my eyes. And that day I was having a breakfast. I invoiced for 40th time the same client, Safe Pro. Big shout to them. This guy honors his employees every month. And on that March 3rd, the employees came together and we planned to surprise him. And we had a beautiful piñata, chocolate piñata by Kaboom Chocolata. And he hit it, and inside of it, there was a huge list of the reasons why his team admired him. And it was a very emotional day for me because when I started this business, my idea was to give honor away. And this guy gave honor to his employees month after month. Didn't matter what was going on. He was doing Alex Cantaboni, big shout to him, because he did it month after month for 40 times. And on that 40th time, his employees had something to say back to him. And it was a St. Patrick's party. My ribbon cutting at Frisco Chamber was St. Patrick's Day. So it was a lot of emotions. My first boss was Pat McGrath, Patrick. And the first time that I experienced joy in the break room, it was in a company that the logo was a shamrock. So it was a very emotional day. I was like on the top in the roller coaster, like,
Yeah.
and then it took so long to get there, like little by little getting there. And then boom, let's get down. So now my typical days are with nothing in my calendar, events, and that's what I do, events. So the first one was canceled, and then the second one, and then the third one, and then the fourth one. And then I was like, it was not fun. It was very, so now my days are in home, trying to learn to serve what I have around, which is my family, and trying to learn what it is to still share joy in the places that God wants me, even if every break room is closed out there.
Yeah,
so that's my typical day, trying to figure out how to grow and how to be ready for when the time comes, because it's going to come. We can get in speed, and I'm ready and I'm prepared. But my typical day is very different, like extremely different. So, but that gives you an idea.
Yes. Well, Lori and I wanted to have you on as a guest, but because usually we're both so busy running around right before the meeting starts that we were like, it's just going to be too much to ask Lilian to do all that and then also be on the panel, like, how is it ever going to work? So one thing is that without having to worry about all that other stuff. But yes, it's huge change for you. And Shannon, how about for you, also a small business owner? What was your typical day like before everything hit, and now what is it like?
Yeah, I think that my typical day was basically like everyone else's. Get up, you've got your list, you've got your super busy life. Our business was coasting and doing really great. We're a local escape room. We bring together corporate teams, sports teams, families, and friends together to put their phones down and do something different and tackle an escape room. So at the heart of our business is connecting. So things were, like I said, they were coasting, and we were doing well. And I had time to plan our daughter's wedding and to serve people on the side and do fun things. So, like everyone else, everything hit us about March 12th, and we were expecting FC Dallas to come to our escape rooms and do a big event for their whole professional team. And we had our windows decorated and everything, and they called us and they said, hey, we're not supposed to do team events anymore. And it was disappointing, but then that night the MLS canceled their entire season for their soccer teams. And so, like I said, like everyone else, our world has been turned upside down for our business. And
Mhm.
I'm in the process of just finding what my role is in life right now and what my, what am I supposed to do in this time? And we've had about 3 weeks, all of us, of it being super new, kind of fun, cleaning out every cabinet, cleaning out every closet, probably drinking too much at night, all of that. And now this is kind of our new normal for a while. And so I'm in the process of finding out where I fit into that new normal and how I can make a difference each day.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm excited to talk about that too. You know, before, like, I mean, just I feel your losses. Like, it's sad to hear about all of the things that we were looking forward to doing, and you guys were planning to do for your businesses, and then all of a sudden it's poof, just totally gone. And that's on the business side. What about like personally? And I know for you, Shannon, you just experienced your first actual family loss to COVID-19, which we are so, so sorry to hear about. But I mean, it's really getting personal, So maybe share a little of that and anything else, how it's been affecting you.
Thank you, Tammy. My uncle Joel just passed away a couple even from complications regarding COVID. And so the ripple effects are not just the fact that we're staying at home and that we're bored. It's, we're all expecting now where people experiencing now where people we know might have it or are feeling, feeling some stuff from that. Backing it up, Tammy, what was your question again?
Well,
sorry.
Kind of following up on that, I guess maybe what's your biggest personal challenge with what's
Right.
happening? I mean, obviously, like the family, our family's going to be affected, and what would you say is your biggest personal challenge in it?
My biggest personal challenge is something I'm still being challenged by, and that is, I think that it's been really easy for me to get down in the dumps, to get negative, to have pity parties, to to be lost. I feel like for me, and I've talked to my neighbors too. What I don't want to just sit here and pass time and hope for this to go away. I still want to have an impact now as a human being today.
Mm-hmm.
And so over the past couple weeks, it's been like, where do I fit in? How can I make an impact today and not get so down in the dumps and not get so disillusioned and frustrated? I don't want to talk too long and take everybody's place, but our business has been closed.
No,
Our business is closed down. So, we're following the mandates of city and county and national, mandates to close down. We're a business that brings people together in small spaces to, to communicate and to have a fun, immersive experience together. And so obviously we can't do that right now. We can be in the dumps about the situation, but my greatest personal challenge has been finding my place and how I'm going to make a difference every day today in this space.
Yeah. That's exactly where I am at too. Lilian, how about you? What would you say is your biggest personal challenge right now?
well, very similar than yours, guys. And I guess that for me was like the moment that this all happened. For some reason, I felt like I have two options: to put my business lady cap and try to get creative and keep my business going somehow. And but then I also had to listen what I thought God wanted me to listen, and it was that thanks God, we count with a paycheck. Thanks God, I'm not a single mom. Thanks God, I was like, it's a time where I don't have to do anything without a price tag included. And I had to understand that, like my kind to find my role is like, just like you were saying, like it's funny for a long time I was running crazy and I was always thought, okay, Facebook, I don't have time to check what's going on Facebook because I'm running. And then I have the time and then I am like, I don't feel like being in Facebook, just checking, just sitting there, just looking at getting like completely absorbed by what's going on, and at the same time feeling like I'm not doing anything, or is it my place to do it on Facebook? And it was a moment where I had to kind of go back to and think, okay, I was never the popular girl in high school that had a million of friends, or college. I was the kind of girl who had a few of them, but was very deep on those friendships. So I like my role right now is not make big noise, only because that's not my platform. I get depressed if I'm in like in Facebook way too long. Like I get mad to see how people just speak stupidities there. So I was like, maybe it's my time to go back to what I believe that it's my thing, and it's because I have been, I'm a kind of an artist, and it's hard to be the friend of an artist because we live in our own world. And then if you add that I'm an entrepreneur, which means that I'm also always busy and crazy and running around and with goals and things, it makes it difficult to be a friend of mine. Like someone needs to love me for the way I am and respect me. Like those friends from college need to really love me so we can still be friends.
Yeah.
So in some way I was like, I'm learning, and I thought that it was because I was getting older, and this made me realize that it's not the reason only that I was being older, but I feel like for me it's so important. I have been loved for who I am, and I want to learn to love others for who they are. And that
Yeah.
requires time, and that requires
Mhm.
intention. And that means that the 2,500 people that are my friends on Facebook and that I respect and I love to be there, and I love, people know I post a lot. It's my diary for my kids one day. But I cannot reach out to 2,500 of them. But maybe
Right.
I can be there for the ones, like yesterday that I heard the voice of my college friend. It was
Mm.
so amazing, like thanks God that I have the time to to hear her voice, because she has been with me along this journey, and
Right.
and has loved me that way. And then we sent pictures of each other, back on the day, and we're planning to get together again via Zoom. It's finding that place and understanding that we don't supposed to do what everybody else is doing. We need to
Mhm.
find um, our own space where not only we bless someone else, that we can get blessed so we can give away that blessing. So
Yeah.
I guess that I had spent a lot of time trying to do that, like trying to, I talk with a friend, like I think for 3 hours, and
Mm.
I never had time to do that in years and decades. So it's very cool to kind of see the good side of it. I don't know how we're gonna go back to normal with that kind of thing, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. but, but
Very
just
cool.
to
Very
love
cool.
each other the way we are, and we find, and that's why I found so interesting that Shannon is in the panel, because she found that platform on Facebook, and she's doing
Mhm.
amazing things on Facebook. And I think if I would have tried to do that, it was going to be fake, you know,
Mm.
because it was not
Mhm.
going to be my space, and
That's
sometimes
it.
Facebook can get very fake. So
Mhm.
so I think that it's kind of interesting understanding that we all have a different role, and here's not we were here not competing, we're kind of
Mhm.
making things happen so we can help each other out.
Right.
So
That's right. Just supporting each other and having our place and doing what we're supposed to do in the circle that we have. And I think that's such a good message, Lilian. I love that you're connecting with your college girlfriends again. I am too, and I'm so excited. On Wednesday, I have a Zoom call with some friends that, we haven't seen each other and gotten together since our last trip like 3 years ago. But we're all sitting around, free. so, so the reconnecting is actually a really cool thing that's come out of this.
mhm,
And even like my whole extended family all over the country, we had a big, huge family Zoom, and that was so cool. And I got to see
mhm,
people's dogs, and like I haven't seen some new babies that were born, and like all of us
Mm-hmm.
now have the time. We are, you know, in a strange way blessed with that time.
Mm-hmm.
So Shannon, tell us then about Good Stuff in Frisco, and like how did that come about, and you know what are some of the things that have just really uplifted you?
Yes. Okay. Good Stuff Frisco came about from me perusing a local political Facebook page because, and I had joined it because I wanted to learn more about the leaders in our community, to maybe hear what they're about, learn about them as people. And the specific page that I was on was full of negativity and backbiting and meanness, just mean. And I I just thought, you know, we're watching, this started off as us watching the news all day, getting the updates, watching businesses close, or have to close. And just that negativity from that, because we have more time for things like Facebook. And I was like, I cannot do this. I was getting into the pit. I was getting mad. I was becoming everything that I hated. And so I thought, I'm withdrawing myself from this group, and I just want to start a little page or a little group on Facebook where we just talk about good stuff, and mean for it to be just a platitude or I don't know. And I'm not trying to be all fake and have everything look rosy. It was more like, there's so much good stuff happening around us in Frisco. Can we just have a little place where we go there and put the good stuff that we see, stuff that won't drain us, and where we can champion the good? And so I just started that. And I thought, even if this is just my friends that can have a place to go, to just look at good stuff or to post good stuff and have a little bit of happy, let's do that. And so I just did it. And then I got a t-shirt today from Tracy. Yes, from Tracy at Frisco Sports made me a t-shirt.
Fabulous. I want one.
And I love it. And I thought, it makes me happy. It's bright. It just like, and my hope is just that we can all focus on the good stuff, and not only focusing on the good stuff, but there's another part of it, which is about being part of the good stuff. And that, I think, I see developing as a passion of mine and as a thing of mine right now in the midst of this, is being part of the good stuff in Frisco.
Oh my goodness. Well, I, went through the group and saw some of the things that were being posted. And then I saw you doing the whole like medical applause on an evening where everyone's like out in the, social distance appropriately. But just, applauding our all the people in the healthcare industry right now that are true heroes. So it just makes you feel good. And I have to say, I think John Krasinski stole your idea.
Like, I know. He's super rude.
His show. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, super rude.
But that whole concept of making sure, and in fact, I wanted to. So we have this. I literally bought this as I was shopping, right before, like, it was like the week that everything was going down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go to the grocery store and like get everything possible. And then like the last few things I can never go. And, and I saw this and I'm like, I'm just picking that up because I kind of have a feeling that I'm going to start going down the pit, and it's going to be scary. And I need to focus on the good because it's a scary time. It really, really is. So, so we've just had that in our kitchen, and it's a good reminder for our whole family that, and just in life in general, there are two tracks. There is the negative track. There is the positive track. They both exist at the same time. And we can choose to be riding on one or the other, and sometimes back and forth, but they're both there. They really are both there. And sometimes you do have to acknowledge the bad that's going on. But as much as possible, if you can stay on the positive side, and that's attractive to other people, it's uplifting, it gives them hope. And look what your group is doing is, it's inspiring others, and goodness is contagious too. And that's what I love about what you've started, is getting that out there and people wanting to do great things. And so that group is just open to anyone, right? They can just look it up and join.
That's right. Just join, and you can post and comment and share, or, and the whole purpose is to bring joy to other people. And so, yep, it's just evolving, and it's just a great place to go for something positive.
Well, before we get to some questions, I do want to ask, like, what would you say for your business side for Countdown to Escape? Um, you mentioned in some of your notes that you sent to me that you love the mission of the business. So, can you describe a little bit more about specifically what the business is and what the mission is and why you loved it and decided to go for it?
Sure. An escape room, a lot of people our age aren't really into escape rooms, so they don't know a lot about them. It's basically a fun, immersive environment where you have a themed room and you have a mission and a scenario to get to your end result based on puzzles and clues and using your critical thinking skills. So we encourage corporate groups, sports teams to come in and take these challenges. Our rooms can handle anywhere from 6 to 10, literally to bring together. We're a celebration company that enjoys helping people connect. On the flip side, if there was the absolute worst business to have when COVID hits, it's an escape room. The absolute worst. So, because we're putting people in little rooms, having them look at little locks and puzzles and breathe on each other. So, you know,
Oh,
we know why people weren't coming to an escape room after this hit. So we've closed the doors and we're working now on a new model. You know, maybe for the meantime, maybe for a season, maybe for forever, but just of ways for people to connect at home. So we've become a distributor of Springbok puzzles. We've got a huge shipment of puzzles, which will be right here in my living area. And conversations cards, just things like that are going to help people connect in their home. And we're going to start moving into helping get families get connected at home.
I love that.
That's
I love
awesome.
that. Well, Lilian, I would say you might kind of say, well, my business was pretty maybe one of the hardest ones to have during like event planning, like same with Frisco Arts, like pretty much that's what we do is events. Anyone in the event business, what are you gonna do? And the photographers for that, like, you know, I feel so bad for everyone who is involved in such a difficult pre-planning event process and then boom, done. So Lilian, about, like, you know, join the break room and the mission of that and what you were doing previously.
Okay, so here's my logo. I kind of printed out quick, and it's dark. It's black background. That's what I wanted. And then there's the sun. And then my tagline is delivering gratitude, spreading joy, and sharing hope. And I realized right away that before that word was coming out, that I was not an essential. It was not an essential business, but joy is essential. It's just like it's changing the way that it's going to be spread. So the meaning of this is that what I was doing is I have in my heart, I was completely sure that I wanted to bring the beauty and the art and the honor and the gratitude to the corporate world. I was convinced, and I'm convinced, that the little things make a big difference. And I was working with leaders that will understand, because it's not about the money. I'm very good to make very good budgets, but it's about instead of throwing food in a table, I will make it special. I will have vendors all over the place that will help me to bring all these ideas to life. And that way, instead of if it was a ribbon cutting, why just food? Why not to bring the logo into place? So to give the opportunity, the business, to share about the principles. Why the logo? Every company has a reason to have a logo. What makes them them? So that was part of what I was doing, trying to be in different kind. Really, my clients could be anyone, any company. Some of them chose me to do internal things with their staff. Others will do it with their clients. Others will do it if they were sponsoring a breakfast at Frisco Chamber. I will make sure that there was something healthy, because I see people, having to bring their breakfast in the bag because they think that there was always going to be donuts or something that they cannot eat. So for me, it was important to consider all those diet restrictions, all those things, because that's what makes Lori. Lori was one of the presenting sponsors. She was one of my first clients. And I remember we did an ice cream bar, the very first thing that I did for her. And we made sure that there was a lactose free ice cream. And you should have seen the lady that realized that there was ice cream only for her. And you know, that those kind of things, I think that mean a lot. And that's what I was doing full speed, making sure that everything that was being done, it had a meaningful reason behind it. So the money that was going to be spent, instead of ordering more food than needed, I will partner with a restaurant to make sure that we had enough food. But then I had all these beautiful themes already pre-designed and displays to put it there. Think it's not good again with the sound thing, because I cannot deliver to hospitals with my pretty baskets because they need to be spread with Lysol, you know, and I cannot take them to the next place. So yeah, that was kind of and that was the mission. I got to a little bit earlier to also say, okay, sometimes it's not only the party, sometimes it's the tragedy, the bad moments. So I also kind of partner with my clients to do a special gift baskets in times of tragedy, like the same Alex that I talk about when one of his employees was going through a very tough time. He agreed. He paid for a blowout, and I put it in a basket with a book that will encourage her, just to share that hope, because inside there are humans dealing with a lot of stuff at the same time, and a little thing from the bus means a lot.
Right. No, I love what you do because it's so personal and it's so specific, and people, like you said, in the workplace, they're all people, it's not just a big group of all of the same likes and dislikes. They're all individuals, and that's what you were able to highlight and do. And so, I hope that you're going to get to be able to continue to do that. At some point, we're going to be able to get back outside to our jobs to see people again, and we need that individual love and joy, and like you said, spreading joy. We had some questions on our or comments. First, someone was wondering, Shannon, how do they order a puzzle from your new puzzle business?
I love this question. My husband, who has been in the corporate world and in retail, he's setting up that portion of our site. And so we're waiting for this huge delivery, and the puzzles will be up there to buy through countdowntoescape.com once we get them up. And I will put some things on our social media when those things come in. So they're en route, and we're super excited.
I definitely want one. Jennifer Wade, one of our board members, says, we love escape rooms and Countdown to Escape. And Jenny Dowdy wants to have a t-shirt. So how do we get a Good Stuff Frisco t-shirt?
Great. Great question. Well, I love what they did at Frisco Sports with my idea for what I wanted in a shirt. And my girlfriends kind of helped me with their favorites and all. And so I'm going to put these up on the Good Stuff Frisco Facebook page, and I will have those up this week. We're going to take pre-orders, and a portion of the proceeds will go to the groceries for the Hammond family, since the escape room has been closed. So that's full disclosure. Just want to put that out there. But we'll make them affordable because I'm super, I like good sales and good prices. So thank you. We'll put that up there on the Facebook page soon.
Good. And Lori McCaghren says, yes, joy is essential. Kimberly Armstrong says, Lilian is amazing, brings joy, gratitude, and hope to so many. And then, we also have, someone says we need to tweet John Krasinski and some good news and tell him that, he stole your idea. And he probably will actually. So somebody needs to do that.
Somebody else is going to need to tweet that, because I don't know how to do the Twitter thing.
I know. I do not like, because it's just so tiny. And I just feel like, how am I supposed to know what you're thinking out of like 6 or 7 words? Or actually, I guess you can keep tweeting, more. But, anyway, yeah, I'm not really good at the Twitter thing, but so if somebody wants to do that, you can go ahead. Okay, I always do like to ask, in a normal meeting, what would your current self tell your younger self, and why? Anybody want to go first? Lilian?
You had
Okay, I'll go.
this on the questions ahead of time, and I was like, yikes, I don't know.
Okay, if you don't want to do that one first, you can
Okay,
do what's the best advice you've ever received. So either one of those.
okay, the best advice. Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Well, I thought about two good advices, and one is, I wish I had a picture because but one was a picture of my dad with his team. He was in the hospital industry, and he will always, in every picture that you will catch, he was smiling. Like, he has this huge smile on his face. So he never told me, but it's a part of something that I learned. A smile in your face goes a long way. And it doesn't mean that you have problems, that you are dealing with a lot of stuff, but the smile on your face helps a lot. So that was one advice. And the other advice that I have, and I wish maybe later I can look for the picture and show it to you. It was from my former boss, Patrick McGrath, and he also never said it, but he led by example, and I'm very thankful for him, because I feel like everything I always that I didn't find God in a church, I found it at work, and because of him. So his family, until today, until this day, I want to honor him and honor them, because he lived by example. He was a man of integrity. He was that man that when I lost my baby, he and his were at the hospital and sending those flowers that now I got to send for Alex, for example. So that day I was talking with my client, and I said, and we were planning what to do. I just knew that it was important because my boss did it for me. He never preached about being a good Christian or an amazing leader, or he just did it, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to be in that way. So I try to keep that in mind. Words are not loud enough if your actions and your life doesn't say it. And now I see them as grandparents, and I remember his wife being that wife that is there with a husband that is traveling all the time, and suddenly I was the wife with a husband traveling all the time. And I knew I can do this, because if she can do this and she can believe that her husband is a man of integrity and she has a role to do as a mom, I can also do it. So that's an advice that will stay with me forever, and I always gonna appreciate. Hugs, McGrath. Love you, Pat. Love you, Donna. Thank you for that impact in my life. So that will be
I love it.
my piece of advice. Live by example.
Example and smile, and you have such a beautiful smile, and I don't think I've ever not seen you smiling. So you do follow that. I love it.
Love that.
Shannon, how about for you? Best advice, or what your current your one?
Well, the best advice, I think, I got to put it in a nutshell, but I think it came from my husband, Fred. And it was when I would because I get social anxiety in meetings and things like that, or before parties. And I know that people think that's weird about me, but I truly, truly do. And I remember Fred telling me, Shannon, just ask people about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. And so I would go there and just continue to ask people about themselves. And what I realized also is that when we ask people about themselves, they really feel valued and they feel heard. And that out of that sprung my passion in life, which is to truly help. Every time I come in contact with someone, I want them to feel valued, and when they leave that interaction, that they feel better and happier. And so that originally sprang from my husband just saying, Shannon, just ask people about themselves. And
Yeah.
and then that brings us joy too in the meantime.
Yeah. And everyone's got a story that they want to share, even if they don't know that. But that's, you know, it's what they're going through right now. And all of you and everybody watching, you know, that's super, super advice. Lori said that her favorite question is, though, what would your current self tell your younger self? So I think if you guys have an answer for it, would love to hear it. Shannon, you want to go first?
I will. Okay.
Or Lilian, whoever.
Go, Lilian.
I don't have a mic.
Okay. You know, I go to these ladies who launch all the time, and I'm always so inspired by those answers. And usually you hear stuff like, what would you do more of it, or what you wouldn't do. And in my case, I thought about it, and I was like, okay, maybe it's the time to say, kind of, girl, you did that right. It was a good choice, and it was, instead of what to do different, I will say what I did correct, and it will be to put my family first, and to kind of, and that means first, and it means like create those memories, create, if it's, I found a picture of with my family where we were all wearing silly hats, and now it's a treasure for me. So make those memories. Your parents gonna make mistakes, your parents will mess it up like now we're doing it, but honor them, try to leave a legacy, but think, okay, own your reality, and to own your reality, you need to see which are your priorities. And I will tell Lilian, keep choosing your family, keep honoring your husband where he is, keep giving the time to your babies. They're gonna grow up, that's okay, but make sure that you leave the moment and you make those memories, because those gonna be the treasure later on. So I guess that will be, go for it, girl. Sometimes it's so hard. Sometimes it's so incredible hard.
It is hard, but I love that you are saying, you know, giving yourself a pat on the back, because you definitely, I mean, you embody so much of that joy, the creativity, the investment in others, and I mean, I just love that message, Lilian. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's so good.
Okay, Shannon.
Okay, here goes. I think when I was younger, I truly cared I was very much on the performance treadmill of making sure I was what I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to be in church, what I was supposed to be with my youth group, who I was supposed to be for these people. And I really cared a lot about what people thought of me. And all of my behaviors were driven by trying to please people. I think today I would say it's okay to be a mess. It's okay to not have all your stuff together. It's okay. And I think that people are tired of seeing everything that looks perfect and people that appear to be perfect, because that's not real. That's not normal. And it's refreshing to just see people that say, you know what, I am a mess. I am struggling. And it's okay. I would tell my younger self that, just be you.
Yeah, be you. And, you know it together. And if we didn't believe that before, now we're all COVID-19 leveled the playing field. No one knows what's going on. The only person that really knows what's going on is Dr. Fauci. But aside from him, and even he, I don't even know, the virus timeline, the virus, like the virus knows what's going on. But like, you know, we're all figuring it out. We have no idea how to run like the business the way it's not going to be like that anymore. It's going to change. It's got to evolve. Frisco Arts, like this whole movement that we created of people who care about the arts and getting them together in a huge, now illegal of 75 people, that's got to change, you know? So everything, like you're saying, like, you know, no, I think it's comforting that it's not going to be perfect. You know, there's going to be mistakes we make along the way, but everyone, oh, thank you, Anthony, for that photo again. This is scandalous. It was in March. It wasn't today. But you know, like we're all gonna have to figure it out, and we all are gonna need each other. We're gonna need these conversations, and rely on just spreading that goodness, because we can help each other. We can, like Lilian said, you know, your role was on the behind the scenes, on the quiet side, and Shannon is here out in front, and you know, being the messenger of goodness in Frisco. It's just incredible what both of you guys are able to do now. I wanted to invite the audience, if you guys want to ask some questions, put them in the feed. What has surprised you the most about yourself during this time? And I will also look for questions. But
I can start with that. What has surprised me most is how negative I got, and how quickly I fell into despair. Because I've always thought that wasn't me. And I've always secretly judged people that kind of went there. And then there I go. So I think that has been the most surprising thing about me and what I've discovered about myself. Now, I will tell you that each day it's a journey to get up, and I've just started this the past couple of days, get up and make that decision of what am I going to make of today. And so it's a journey every day, but I think I was surprised by how quickly I went there.
Yeah. I think everyone did, and even the most positive person, it's difficult news every day.
Yeah.
Lilian, what surprised you the most about right now?
What really surprised me, well, as I mentioned to you a little bit earlier, I really thought that it was because I was getting older that I kind of realized how much authenticity I needed around me. A year ago, something like that, one day I came and I was like, I see all these ladies every Frisco Chamber, every week, every month, here and there, and these events. We smile, we hug, we take selfies, we post them on Facebook. We really love each other, but the question of how are you, it's always answered as good, and you know. And a year ago I felt this need of saying, okay, to create this little intimate space out there where I can just be a friend in that crazy thing. And a little bit earlier you mentioned that you wanted me to mention about this book that I co-author 2 years ago now, and it was great. It has 13 stories, 13 words of inspiration. It was a great experience. But then when we were creating it, we were like, it's a great tool for small groups or for Bible studies, but not me, like not leading me, you know, like it was great, it's a great idea, but not for me. And I started and I put an invite and I said, ladies, whoever wants to just come jump in, I'm going to be at La Hacienda Ranch every Thursday of every month, just to have that intimate group where the question, how are you, could be answered, you know, today I'm a mess, today I'm broken, today I'm scared, today whatever. So we started this little group. And what really surprised me on this day, you will think, okay, Lilian is already got it, already understood that she needs those in her life. I was in shock. You know, I was like for some days in shock, and suddenly I received a text of Kelly, my beautiful friend Kelly, one of the attendees of that group, and she was like, are we getting at least online? I miss you. Let's do a Zoom call. And for me, like, poop, you know, like it was a moment where I realized how good it is to have each other, you know, because how good. And I thought I was trying to kind of bringing the ladies together. And suddenly one of them was the one who kind of pulled me out from that hole where I was like, I was trying, and she just said the simple question, can we do a Zoom together? I miss you. I miss you, ladies. And we had and then we decided that we're going to do it from during this quarantine is going on. We're gonna do it every Thursday. Whoever can join, and it was good to see them, to laugh a little bit, to find something funny in all of these things. And I just realized like how much we need each other, like how much, like the day that you texted me, Tam, if I just mentioned that I was going down the hill on that um, roller coaster, and I never had liked roller coasters. I hate them. So when I was coming down, it's like you and Lori, and I said it today, it was like a cloud of cotton candy come and trap me in the middle of my downhill, and said, okay, we're in the middle of cotton candy, so grab it and be with your friends, and know that as soon as, it doesn't matter how low we can get down there, the next hill is coming, and we are in the same cart. So we can pick to, hold hands and woohoo! We're gonna do it. Like if we went up there, we're gonna come down there, and we're in the same. So thank you for my cotton candy, because that day that you texted me, it was like you trapped me. Like there was a pause of my downhill. So thank you.
Oh my goodness.
So.
I'm glad. Well, I think both of you, have just really inspired. Like you'll be able to see the Facebook of all of your friends and family and fans who love you and support you through this time. And Jenny Dowdy asked, how can we support both of you? And I would also say, like, just connect through Facebook, because that's one of the ways we can connect. Is there anything specific, and that's what we'll end with right now, but is there anything specific we can do to help both of you guys?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Straighten this thing. Okay. There you go. I was just going to say a way to support. I'm down in the Rail District in Old Downtown Frisco, and the way that you could support, I just think of the Rail District as a whole, is, like you do see this all over, and our community really is coming together. Ordering local. If you're going to eat out, go and order local from these people that feed their families from what they earn from, the business right here. Times are really tough for small local businesses. And so I would just say, support the local businesses when you can. And that's a huge help. And just honestly following their social media, liking their comments, just leaving them a good review. If you have had a good experience at these places, these reviews are huge. Buy a puzzle from us when we get that up, just supporting local. That's my big thing.
Yeah. Love it. And Lilian, how about for you?
For me, this morning, Alex Cantaboni, I had talked a lot about him, but he's pretty amazing. He texted me and asked me, what can I do for you? And I just told him, keep doing what you're doing, because he's still building a strong business with his team. And he's blessed to be out there and still generating. So if he keeps doing that, sooner or later, the ones that we cannot do it will be able to jump in. So for all the industries that are still being blessed, because consider your time spent on your business a blessing, just keep doing what you're doing, keep growing, because if you continue pushing hard, Shannon, our business will come back. They have to, because this economy has to move on. So keep doing what you're doing. Like, you are blessed, so keep doing what you're doing, and everybody will be okay. And for all of us, we need to be sensitive, and when we feel like we are not blessed, then we have to realize that we are blessed too, because I'm getting to cook for my husband, who is always eating in a restaurant. That's a blessing, and I need to grab it and really kind of, when I run out of ideas, it's like, okay, I'm gonna invent something new, but it's cool. It's also a blessing, and maybe God knew that I needed that blessing. So you cannot bless others if you don't start with your own people. So
yes,
that will be my thing.
Very true. Very true. Well, ladies, thank you so much for sharing your hearts and these messages with everyone today, and for your time. And for everyone out there watching, thank you for being here and just, being part of the community. Our Frisco Arts community still needs to keep growing and moving forward. It's something that's important. We need to keep feeding our souls. So if you want to support Frisco Arts, you can go to our website and, donate your lunch ticket from today. We'll just be hoping to be online again, I guess, next month on May 5th for Cinco de Mayo. and then hopefully maybe meeting in person in June. But I just wanted to show you real quick. My daughter Chloe made a Cinco de Mayo mask for me. Look!
Oh, oh my gosh, that's so cute!
Made out of this is just what cooks her. That's all. So
I
right
love
here.
it.
All right.
I want one.
Well, I hope you guys stay safe. Wear those masks out in the public. But we'll be back here on May 5th with Cinco de Mayo. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Anthony, for all your help today on the show as well.